Often still carried out in contemporary horror movies.
Hello.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Hello everyone and welcome to Girls and Ghouls, where we chat about all things spooky. I'm your host, Amy Ma, and we meet today on the unceded land of the Wurundjeri and Bunurong people of the Eastern Kulin Nation and acknowledge the plethora of storytelling that has taken place on this land for over 60,000 years. In this segment, we're talking about women in horror and are joined by two local filmmakers who are working on their own horror projects. Meet Charlie, who's the writer and director of a short horror film, Shrine, and Saskia, who's the DA and project manager on a short zombie horror film in production, Appetite. Thank you both for coming in today. How are you?
Great, thanks for having us.
Yeah, doing really well, thanks yourself.
Yeah, great, thank you. So I'll just start us off, since we're here to talk about women in horror. What are some of your favourite horror films directed by women or starring women?
I would say my two favourite female-centred horror films would have to be The Love Witch by Anna Biller and Jennifer's Body, and I forget the director's name, but she's fantastic, so that's a crime on my part. Both of them just feature really badass, awesome, murderous women.
Amazing, do love the Jennifer's Body, yeah. And what about you, Saskia?
Favourite horror film would probably be the iconic House of a Thousand Corpses by Rob Zombie. In terms of women in horror though, I do love the little fun fact that American Psycho was directed by a woman.
Ooh,
I think that puts such a, people forget that, don't they? So,
especially since it has such a film bro following as
yeah,
well.
such a the alpha male. So yeah, I'd like to remind people that it was, directed by a woman.
Yeah, I bet the hardcore fans of American Psycho hate that fact.
Oh, they hate it, don't they?
Absolutely, and following on from that, both of your short films follow a female protagonist at different stages of youth. So how have depictions of girlhood in film and pop culture kind of influenced the making of your own horror films?
Yeah, that's a great question. So my short film Shrine, which I wrote and directed, is all about this protagonist as we follow her, the day before her 18th birthday, and she's just had this massive breakdown of a long-term friendship with one of her closest female friends. And then over the course of that night, her teenage bedroom comes to life and begins to haunt her in really unexpected ways. And kind of the whole, deeper message of the film is about how terrifying it is to transition from girlhood to womanhood, how intense the feelings of teenage girls are. I feel like I really wanted to validate how teenage girls feel, because a lot of the time they're taken as really hysterical or ditzy. And I also wanted to kind of talk about the intensity of female friendships and how that often borders on a kind of queer sort of relationship. And I was really influenced by media like the Puberty Blues series, the Japanese film House, and I guess depictions of girlhood where teenage girls are taken as serious and interesting and smart and imperfect.
Yeah, and we actually opened the show talking about how women have often been portrayed as ditzy in horror, so I love that you're challenging that. That's great. And what about you?
Similarly for the film that I'm working on, Appetite, even films such as The Exorcist that depict young girls, going through that stage of life as the monster itself. So our movie is playing on the relationship between women in society, growing up, relationship with parents and food as well. So that's what's touched on in our film.
Awesome. So you both actually went into the horror studio run by the RMIT Media program, I'm guessing, with the end goal of making a short horror film. So do you feel that the horror genre is something that has kind of restricted your creative expression, or has it had the opposite effect? I know, Charlie, you'd previously written a script under the horror genre, so was this kind of something you want to look into more? Or?
Yeah, I have a lot of faith in horror as a genre in being able to create this kind of imaginary space where marginalised people and women can, seek retribution and live out a world in which they, can express their frustrations in full. So in particular, a lot of feminist horror films that I really admire involve women kind of enacting acts of revenge on men for being awful and lashing out against the patriarchy. And I feel like there's a lot of potential in that genre to create that cathartic moment on screen.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, definitely same for me. I feel like if anything, horror has a lot to give filmmakers. It's a very creative space. I mean, anything can really happen in horror. You know, like there's no restrictions on what that is. And I think for me, that's been really good to explore something where I can, you know, play on those experiences in society of different people and see where that scary road kind of takes you.
And horror doesn't always have to be super serious as well. That's what I love. It can be really
It can be
camp
funny
and
and
silly.
stuff, yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing about that. So, that's all the time we have for today's episode. Thank you for watching Girls and Ghouls, and thank you to our wonderful guests, Charlie and Saskia. And another big thank you to our crew, Miller, Min, Me, Han, and Amelia. So to wrap us up, we're going to leave you with a teaser trailer of Charlie's short film Shrine, coming soon.
Just pretty straightforward, like we'll sort of just blah blah, thanks for coming in today. And then we'll do a little bit of a quick quiz, like there'll be a VT, which is just like a video and we won't have to do anything for that. Like acknowledgement to country. We'll do a quick quiz. Here's my little top secret answers. Okay. And that's just a higher or lower thing to do with like box office numbers. So it's pretty straightforward, like which movie made more money essentially. Yes. There's that. And then we'll just get into like the panel discussion, which is just Barbie versus Oppenheimer. I'm assuming you've seen them both? Yes. Yeah, sweet. That was the one thing I was like, hoping that they've both seen the films, because otherwise Now, welcome to Movie Magic, the show where we talk movies, new trends, new talents, and what's new in the box office. I'm your host, Ollie, and let's get this magic started. But firstly, we just do our welcome to country. We acknowledge the Wurundjeri country, we acknowledge the custodianship of its people and the privilege and responsibility to connect with the country. We acknowledge inspiration and responsibility to design with country and her kin. Now, I'd like to give a very warm welcome to our guests today, the head of in-review at RMIT TV, Annie Jr., and Village Cinema's employee, Madison Harrison Brown. How are we both going today?
Good.
Yeah, good. Thrilled to have you on, TV debuts. But just quickly, before we get started, let's follow our show's fearless director, Jack, to the cinema.
Get your tickets, back middle is the best option. Then as a bonus step, pat your cat to say sorry for leaving them. Then step 3, dress comfy. It's the movies, but also check the weather. I forgot that it was raining, practicality and comfort. And then most important step, snacks. Buying these at the cinema is nice, but in this economy, let's go to the supermarket. Then once you arrive at your cinema, you sneak your snackies in, find your cinema, realize there's no one sitting there, which is fine, and then enjoy yourself. And like any self-respecting cinephile, there's only one more thing to do. Brag about it on Letterboxd. Go watch a movie by yourself, and now back to Ollie in the studio.
Thanks to our magic man Jack there for that lovely VT. Now today, we're going to take a look at 2023, a year of film in review. And let's get started with a quick segment of movie magic that we love, the quick quiz. Yep. So we're going to quiz our two guests today with the choice of 2 movies from the 2023 box office. And you're going to guess which movie had the higher worldwide gross box office number. So I have the very secret answers here, top secret, and we're going to be starting off with Scream 6 versus Creed 2. Annie, which do you think had the higher box office numbers?
Oh my gosh. I reckon Scream 6 probably was higher.
And what about you, Madison?
I think I'll have to agree.
Scream 6?
Scream 6.
Actually, both incorrect. It was Creed 2.
Oh, no.
275 million versus Scream 6 is 168 million. So
Off to a good start.
probably wasn't their best of the franchise, I have to admit. Okay, now let's get with the kids here. The Little Mermaid versus Elemental. What do we think?
I think Elemental probably higher.
Oh, I'm going to say Little Mermaid.
The Little Mermaid took out 569 million versus Elemental's 489 million. John Wick Chapter 4 versus The Meg 2, The Trench. Great cinema there.
John Wick.
Yeah. John Wick, yeah, you both correct there. That was pretty easy. 428 million versus 393. Now, Fast X versus Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. We're into big numbers now.
I wish it was Spider-Man.
Yeah, I hope it's Spider-Man.
I think it might be Fast X, unfortunately.
Fast X from you. We got a Fast X.
I'm going to say Spider-Man.
Spider-Man? It was Fast X. Family is everything, and it's worth $704 million. But Spider-Man's is $689 million. Now, last question here. So we're going to finish strong. Oppenheimer, which we're going to be having a chat today, versus the Super Mario Bros. This is very big numbers here.
I think, oh God, Oppenheimer, surely.
Oppenheimer?
Yeah.
Madison?
I'm just have to go Mario, aren't I? Yeah.
The Super Mario Bros. 1.3 billion. Oppenheimer came in with 926 million. And last but not least, just quickly, do we know what was number 1 on the box office?
Surely Barbie.
Surely. Yeah.
Barbie, 1.4 billion worldwide.
Insane.
There. Alrighty, so we all know that Oppenheimer dominated the headlines this year, but Madison, as someone who was on that front line serving customers and in the cinema watching all these fans come through with Barbenheimer, can you give us a bit of a rundown on what that experience was like?
It was pretty crazy to be in such a, just the atmosphere was so alive. When you'd go to work, you could just tell that everyone wanted to come see these movies. They had such a successful campaign through, on the upcoming months. And yeah, it was very electrifying, I guess, being in that space. But also as a server, it was very traumatic. I know there was a meme going around where you see like a cinema person, pretty much just like head in their knees, just, kind of doing that, and yeah, it was nuts. That's pretty much what it was. That's a reflection of what it was.
You would have hoped they were charging Sunday rates for those days then, or?
Of course not. We do it because we love it.
What about you, Annie? I mean, you've seen the movies yourself. Did you do the Barbenheimer, or?
I did.
Oh, you did?
I did do the Barbenheimer. I had a day that I did Oppenheimer IMAX because I felt like I needed to do that. And then Barbie was just at like a large cinema screen. I don't know if I can say where, but yeah.
Oh, true. Oh,
because maybe it wasn't the best experience.
Oh, well, which did you both prefer? You've obviously seen both movies. Just from like a viewing, you know, for the entertainment side.
Well, I saw Barbie 3 times in the end. It was definitely worth it, and I saw it kind of after the hype, and it was definitely worth the wait. Yeah.
I think that was the same with me because I watched them. I didn't do them both on the same day. I don't think I have that type of patience. But I was seeing Barbie in an empty cinema, but still, like a month or so after the release, people were coming fully dressed up. Like, did you find that a lot of people were coming in costumes?
Yeah, it was really nice. Everyone was just on theme. It was great. It was very cool. Very cool.
Sweet. Well, unfortunately, that's all we have time for today. And I want to give a big thanks to our 2 guests, Annie and Madison. And remember, if you're watching a movie about one of the biggest weapons in history, or Margot Robbie as a Barbie doll, remember what you've seen here today. And Barbie was fun, Oppenheimer tragic, but stay smooth with us here today at Movie Magic. I think I lost a part of my soul saying that.
Beats, where we explore the beauty of urban culture here in Melbourne. And in today's episode, we are digging deep into the art of street performance. I'm Emily, I'm your host, and with me today we have Renee and Nisa. Welcome, and can you guys introduce a little bit about yourself?
So I'll go first. So my name's Renee Leanne. I've been busking for 3.5 months now, and yeah, that's what I do.
Hi, I'm Nisa. I'm a student at RMIT and an avid street performer watcher.
Oh, that's very nice. So thank you very much again for joining us today. And so first, I'm very curious, Renee, like how did you start? Why did you choose the street as your stage?
Actually a busker came up to me and was like, do you want to sing? And then I sang with him and we sounded amazing together, and that's when we both decided, hey, we should start busking, and ever since then I've been busking on the streets, yeah.
Oh, wow. When was that?
That was probably 3 months ago, so probably in June.
Oh, so you're still very new in this, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And many people view street performers as a very unconventional path. So what do you think that path has influenced your creativity and success?
Well, I think the street is probably one of the most interesting places to do performance. I think you have to try your best to captivate the audience, especially a lot of people walking by and they're in their own little minds, or they have places to go. But when you finally get that attention, you're just like, oh, I did it. And then they come to you and they're like, wow, you're amazing, or stuff like that. So
yeah, so you're very passionate in music, right?
Oh, 100%.
What's the biggest lesson you've learned from busking?
The biggest lesson I've learned is probably, I think I used to be very people-pleasing, but now that I've been doing a lot of performing, and I've received both positive and negative outcomes from this, I've learned to just be headstrong and just be I'm doing my thing, and I should be doing the things that I love, and I hope that people can reciprocate it in a good way.
Yeah, I'm very glad you feel about that in your way. Now, do your parents know and support you?
Yeah, so at first, I come from a very traditional Asian background, so we're told to do something more financially stable. But when they saw it took off, they're like, oh wow, our daughter can actually do this. So then they actually were really supportive, and they actually were the ones that bought my my speaker system.
Wow.
So that was a really big touch to my heart, and yeah, I'm really grateful for them.
Wow. That is amazing, and I don't think every Asian family can be like your family.
Yeah.
We're both Asians, right? Yeah. Okay, so I guess we're all very curious about a day of a student and a performer at the same time. So we have followed you on a day of your performance.
A fever, round and around and around and around we go. Oh, now tell me now, tell me now, tell me now, you know. Not really sure how to feel about it. Something in the way you move.
Okay, so although it's a very short video, but I think you sounded very amazing.
Thank you.
And you can see all the people were around and cheering you up and support you. And I think it's a very great way of self-expression that you're doing. What do you think about it, Nisa?
I think it's very brave. I don't think it's very easy to just walk up into a very, very busy street, and especially Melbourne, there's so many people, so many things going on at the same time, and for you to walk up and sing and be comfortable singing and sounding really great, I think it's mostly being very, very brave and courageous.
Yeah, I think that for people like me or you, we can never do that.
Yeah, I don't think I can. I'll just go up and just freeze.
Very introverted person. And before the show, you also brought us some pictures that you took of these street performances you want to see.
Yeah.
And what are some points of these street performers that it has attracted you so much?
I think what made me stop and take a look is the fact that they are very bright. And bright in the sense where they capture your attention immediately. I think especially in a very busy city, for them to be able to stand out. That's
Yeah.
really important, and it's also very interesting. So it's the fact that they're very big, very loud, very colorful. That's what draw me to them.
And as a viewer, how do you think street performing has evolved and changed over the years, especially with the rise of social media?
I think a lot of singers, for example, Justin Bieber, got his start with
Right.
you know, street performing. So I think especially with social media, it has helped a lot of
Mhm.
artists, like you know, get a bigger reach, bigger audience, and a better reach. I think you would
Okay.
understand.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
And I
yeah.
think with their ability to connect people through the music is a very gift like yours. And I really admire how you're not just fulfilling your passion, but also bring joy to other people around our community.
Thank you so much.
And that is also the time for our show today. Thank you so much for joining with me today again. And let's remember that street performers aren't just entertainers, they are also storytellers, ambassadors of art and culture. And thank you for joining us today. Thank you to our crew members, the production, and remember, the world is our stage.
Hello everyone, welcome to Fashionably Yours. I'm Harrison to take us on our fashion journey. We are going to talk about Melbourne fashion. It is well known that there are countless fashion categories in Melbourne and people have different attitudes towards fashion. We're going to talk about distinctive styles of dressing and what makes you feel comfortable. We also have our amazing guests on the show today. Come with me to find out. Please welcome our first guest, Agnes. Agnes is an architecture student who is also a fashion content creator on TikTok. Agnes, give us a quick fit check. Let's see how beautiful you look today.
So everything is basically thrifted other than these bloomers. They're from High Studio, which is a Melbourne, actually an Australian brand. Yeah.
Awesome. And now please welcome our second guest, Carlos. Carlos is a fashion design student and also a makeup artist. Carlos, tell us a little bit what you're wearing today.
Everything is thrifted, vintage diesel, some vintage denim, and some just classic Solomons.
Now starting off, how would you describe your styles, both of you?
You go first.
Well, I will go first and I'll tell you I have so many styles, and on my TikTok I always share with people like how I go for different styles every day, which is like the most fun part of like making outfits. You go after like all the styles, like someday you're like cargo girl, someday you're like fairy core. That's like the fun part. How about you?
I think like a lot of the time, like I'm heading to uni, it's like quite casual, but like still quite like, you know, denim and denim, something like classic, but I don't want to dress up too much because, you know, I want to be practical.
Yeah, for uni.
But outside of uni, I want to dress up just a bit more.
Yeah.
Perfect. What are some of your inspirations when it comes to like shopping around and like what you want to wear in the morning?
I think it just like really depends, just because like a lot of like fast fashion brands have like taken over a lot of like the market that's right now. So it's really hard to find something that's like quite unique, but that's like what I really want to like try and look for a lot of the time. So I really try to like look at like super niche places.
I love just walking around the city and look at everyone's fashion. Everyone has like something you can learn from. Like someone wears like a red sock with like white sneakers and it makes like really good style, and then you just like learn from them. You get what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Hitting on the note. But how do you approach your fashion on a budget? Like when you go thrifting and everything, how do you make sure you work on a uni budget?
I think like a lot of the time, my favorite place is Savers. However, like a lot of the Savers I've ran through, but honestly, Savers is like the best place, but like hitting a lot of like thrift shops, like the smaller ones is like I think like the best place because they have like the best deals, and some of like the good quality clothes are actually there.
Have you been to Canberra Sunday Market?
No, I haven't.
And also Fitzroy Market. They're really good flea markets. Everyone sells like their secondhand clothes, so you can like bargain off of like really good deals. And I think this one is from Canberra Sunday Market, and it's like perfect, you know? Yeah.
Would you provide any tips for our lovely guests watching right now on how to feel great about yourself or how to dress yourself?
I think everyone's body type is different, so everyone can go with like different approach on what you want to go for. But then at the end of the day, it's like what you like. Like there's no like a definition of like beauty in terms of fashion. You just wear whatever that's comfortable and like pretty on you.
Talking about all those hidden thrift shops, is there any particular that you like or just explore specifically for yourselves?
I explore like Brunswick the most, I would say. Yeah, that's where
Brunswick
is like where the most popular are.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes like you have to go like deeper into different suburbs as well.
I've traveled 2 hours to go to Mornington, and I found like the best skirt. Like you just go far and then maybe you'll find something, because like old people live there, they don't like buy those like cute stuff, and then you buy them. You get what I mean?
Thank you so much about talking about your favorite spots. Let me go to one of my favorite spots and the Sacred Heart Op Shop in Fitzroy Brunswick Street. Welcome guys, we're back for another episode of Harrison's Hidden Thrifts. Today we are looking at the Sacred Heart Opportunity Shop Fitzroy, located near the top of Brunswick Street. A tucked away op shop that has the coolest of vibes and the sweetest of staff members. This shop has a large range of gender diverse clothing at a highly affordable price, from a $2 bucket bin and an average piece having a cost of $10 to $20. You'll always be able to find an accessory to pair with your clothing here. And to remember to always wash your clothing after vintage shopping. We're back from the VT, guys, and now we're going to play a quickfire game of Slay or Nay, where you vote Slay if it's in or Nay, if it's on the way out, let's begin.
Alright.
Let's go.
What do you guys think of skinny jeans?
Nay,
Yeah, I would have to
definitely
go
no.
nay.
Yeah.
Fan of baggy jeans.
Yeah,
all
it's
the way,
definitely not
all
on
the
trend
way.
right now. If you have those, burn it. Burn it right now.
Cowboy boots.
Definitely a
A
sleigh.
sleigh. I think you need to have the style to really wear it.
Yeah. It goes well with skirts.
Puffer jackets.
Yeah, you know, Melbourne is
it's
cold,
2020.
but still, it's Melbourne. You need a
yeah,
puffer jacket.
It's summer, but no puffer jackets right now.
Yeah, true.
Does
puffer
it
jacket.
remind you of high school with all the walking year 12s all in puffer jackets?
Yeah, with the North Face.
It's
Yeah.
very échecore.
Yeah.
Ballet core.
I love ballet
Ballet
core.
core is gorgeous.
Yeah, I
Sandy
love
Liang?
it. Yeah, Miu Miu, love
Miu
it.
Miu.
We've got crochet tops.
Yeah, it's still on.
Slay.
Like, yeah, girls still slaying it now. Like, everyone wears it.
And crossbody bags.
I feel like guys.
I would say sleigh. It's quite practical.
Yeah.
Quite practical.
If you're like
very easy.
6'2" and then you wear
Yeah,
it, like
exactly.
that's like so hot.
Imagine being 6'2". I cannot relate right now.
Okay.
In conclusion, we've covered people's interest in fashion, the different fashion in the industry, and maybe a little bit history. I've enjoyed talking to you guys today. And if you find our show interesting, please feel free to share with your friends and family. And thank you, Agnes and Colas, for coming on today.
Thank you.
And we appreciate it and
Thank you
express
so
our
much.
love joyously. And you slayed the entire show today.
Thank you.
Thank
You
for having
too.
us. Thank you.
I have hope those who have watched the shows can have more ideas popping in their head for what they want to dress up and if they feel comfortable and where they find more clothes. And thanks again for watching. This is Fashionably Yours.